Wendy's parking lot. At 10:41 p.m. on June 12th.
Hey, this is Voice Your Mind. I have to talk about this. I've never done anything like this, but I have to talk about it.
At 10:41 p.m. on June 12th, Officer Devin Brosnan of the Atlanta Police Department pulls into the Wendy's parking lot on University Avenue.
Now, this, for those of you that don't know, this is not my station. This is the shooting of a man just the other day. I don't know how anyone could thumbs down this. They just talking. But I have a problem here, and it's not long, so I think I'll just go through it. I'm going to talk. This isn't for likes. This isn't thumbs up. This is me just getting it out. And if you listen, so be it.
He's just been dispatched to respond to a complaint of a man sleeping in his vehicle. 27-year-old Rashard Brooks is asleep at the wheel, and his car is parked in the drive-thru, causing customers to drive around him.
And for the record, this is courtesy of NBC News here. All right.
Officer Brosnan knocks on the driver's window several times.
So you're parked in the drive-thru line. You're blocking traffic here. You were sleeping when I walked up here. What's up, man? You just having a long day or something? What's up? All right, don't go back to sleep. Just pull over there.
I got you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
It's the beginning of an encounter that lasted
I'm
about...
back up just a little bit.
I got you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Tells you, don't go back to sleep, just pull over. Let me tell you something. I was sitting in front of my house, and I was so tired. It was the middle of the day, and I went to sleep across, I lived kind of off of a main road, and just like this guy, I was asleep, just like that in that screenshot. I was just like that. That was me, like that. It was a midday, and I was just passed out, sober, okay, just tired. And the police came up, banging on the window too. Said, this guy's like, man, I thought you were dead. He was like, no, man, asked for my ID and all that stuff. I lived like 14, 15 feet away. I had to cross the street and walk into the house. But, he had to run my ID and all that stuff. You know what? That kind of sucks, honestly. Like, first of all, I didn't have nothing to worry about, but it just sucked. I had the same situation happen to me with my cousin in the car and his son in the back seat, except we were just sitting on the side of the road. It was a place that you could park. It was okay to park there. They roll up behind us, and we're like, oh, man, let's get out. So when they got behind us, they got behind us to check what we were doing or whatever. So we get out, and I'm in the suburbs, okay? I don't even know what to say. There ain't no excuse or nothing. I just can't tell you. But we get out of the car and start walking across the street to go in the house. And one of them steps in front of my cousin. And he's like, let me see your ID. He wouldn't give me his ID. He said, do you have any legal reason to ask for my ID or to stop me? And he was like, no, I just, I want to make sure everything's cool. He's like, yeah, it's cool. We're going right there. He lives there. We were sitting in the car. You came up behind us. You got no reason asking us. And he was mad. So my cousin sidestepped him and he went in the house. I went ahead and gave my ID. I was like, whatever, dude, here. He checked me. He wanted to see if we had any warrants and all that stuff. And then, let me go. He didn't, let me go. I was just sitting in the car talking to my cousin. It shouldn't even been like that. How you going to just roll up to someone who's parked on the side of the street? We ain't making no noise. We sitting there with his son in the backseat talking. Ridiculous. So then we go inside, and one of them was just fuming, okay? They're people. They get mad, too. And he was just so upset. If he could have shot through the window, he would have. He was so mad that my cousin called him out like that and just sidestepped him, went inside the house. He felt really disrespected and was really upset. So that was that. But, there's been other times. I'm going to tell you some stories throughout this, but I'm telling you because it's real. It's really real. I mean, if he could have, if he would have been the one to shoot. He was so mad. I wish you all could have seen how mad he was at the fact that it was just like, no, I don't have to give you my ID. I live right there, and you already said there's no reason. Now, there's no reason, right? But why did you even come up behind me? Why? were just sitting in the car. Now, when I had fallen asleep in the car, he came up and knocked on the window. But I would even argue that point, like, why are you knocking on the window? It's broad daylight. I can't sleep in my car. Like, and if he would have ran my place, he would have seen that I lived right across the street. I mean, and then he had to run my whole, license and everything else. Like, I'm awake. I'm fine. I don't know. It didn't feel comfortable. Let me put it that way. And it didn't really feel like, I felt like I had to watch my toes. Was he serving and protecting? I don't know. I will tell you, I had a story where I was pushing the car and an officer got out and helped me and started pushing the car. And I was like, yes, it's a female officer too. I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. That was one of the few times. So many other times they just drive right by, like not there to help me. But there are some, but we need to show love more in situations. And they need to be careful because people are out to get other people, out to get anybody, not just cops. I mean, my goodness, there was a lady who was asking for money on the side of the highway, and she was actually just robbing people when they give her money. Like, she would rob them. So bad is everywhere. Just because you got a badge don't mean somebody's out to get you. And, so upsetting. I think the burden lies on the officer as being the peacekeeper. They've got to be stronger. They've got to be stronger than the criminals out there. They've got to be willing to do the good stuff and be willing to kind of stick their necks out. That's what they're saying they're willing to do. It's like a really good athlete on the team that says, hey, we're in a jam, guys. Give me the ball. Let me handle this burden for you. And the officers is basically, when you become a cop, you're saying, I know society. You need somebody to hate me. You need somebody to love me. You need someone to take care of you. I'll do it. I'm going to look out for those that can't look out for themselves. I'm going to serve and protect. And that means being a bullseye. But if you're not serving and protecting, if you're like too scared to serve and protect, you shouldn't be doing it. Let's continue.
It's the beginning of an encounter that lasted about 40 minutes.
I don't want to deal with this dude right now.
He eventually goes back to Brooks to check on him.
Why did he go back to check on him? If he was really kind of like, okay, was he this is what I'm saying here. Was he checking on him to offer him help? Or why was he checking on him? Well, why was he checking on him?
Okay, how much did you drink tonight? Not much? How much is not much?
About a drink, like 12 today.
Alright, hey, you have your license on you real quick?
Yeah.
Alright.
Officer Brosnan contacts police dispatch.
We have any available DUI certified officers working in the zone right now?
Officer Garrett Rolfe has just pulled into the Wendy's parking lot.
Okay, for anyone that don't know, you saw that cop back there, right here, this scene with the, where is it at? Right there, that scene. See, that's an officer of the law back there. That's that guy's car, just staring at him. That's uncomfortable. Just the police and the cherries walking up, it's uncomfortable. Even the coolest person mess around and just get nervous, like for no reason. It's just uncomfortable. It's like having test anxiety, So, and even for him to like get out and walk is uncomfortable. The cop's sitting there, basically, he asked him not to drive and he let him go, right? So, dude ain't drive, he's sitting right there. But if he did pull off, the cop will get him. And then, if he got out and started walking, the cop would wonder, well, where are you going? There's kind of a no-win here. It's like they just waiting and watching. He probably sitting in the car like, damn, what am I supposed to do? I wonder if he called this girl like, baby, this, you should have called her and said, come get me. But, it sounds like he was just chilling, listening to his music, trying to get it together so he can go do what he had to do, whatever. But it ain't cool. For anyone that don't know, it doesn't feel good. I was pulled over more than 100 times before I was 21 and only had about 5 tickets, like 1 speeding ticket, a couple of silly violations for not stopping at a stop sign at 2 or 3 in the morning, which I used to do all the time, stop. And then like one day, this guy came out of nowhere and he got me. I usually always stop, but I was really tired. I just wanted to get home. It was 3 in the morning. I just worked. I just wanted to get home. And the cop come out of nowhere and give me a ticket. Man, where were you all these other times I see people just at 2 in the afternoon, But that's how it is. I didn't complain that much. I was hoping he'd cut me a break. It didn't happen. But what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is this doesn't feel good. It doesn't. Okay. It gets you all types of nervous. And let's continue.
Lot, and Officer Brosnan fills him in. Officer Rolfe approaches Brooks.
Hey, Mr. Brooks.
Hey,
Mr. Brooks.
how you doing?
Hey, I'm Officer Rolfe of the Atlanta Police Department. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
At 11:03 p.m., Officer Rolfe pats Brooks down to check whether he is armed. He is not.
Okay. So he pats him down. I get it. All right. Hey, nothing wrong with that. See if he's armed. See, that's one of those things. Like, dude, go ahead, man. I'll tell him, do your job, man. Do your job. And I mean that. Like, check me out. Make sure you're safe. You got to take care of yourself. I get that. All right. Do your job. And thank you for doing your job because you help keep my family safe. If somebody breaks in my house, my wife's calling you before she calling me. She gonna call you, hopefully, call the police first, and then call me, So, do your job. I'm not hating on that. He passed it down. Dude ain't got nothing on him. Let's go.
We fast forward through the next few minutes, during which Brooks is asked to perform a series of sobriety field tests. Brooks is cooperative and responsive.
Cooperative and responsive. They have a conversation. Anybody know what it's like to just get stabbed in the back? And I mean that figuratively. Like, when you're having a conversation with somebody and you think, like, it's kind of cool, you can relate, and then you get stabbed in the back. It's like friends that kill you, or sleep with your girlfriend or something like that. It's just like stabbing you in the back. And here, these three men having a conversation. It seemed like they have an understanding or something, but you can already tell that the one officer is just saying he don't want to deal with it. Man, that's your job, serve and protect. Then he's sitting, you don't want to deal with it? Why don't you help him? That's what the police are there for. I don't know this person. I know what I believe an officer is to do, and that is to help, right? Not to police the area, but to help and prevent crime. Help those in need and prevent crime. That's the closest thing to a superhero we have. Next would be military, right? But really, this is the local superheroes, the police. You help people and you prevent bad things from happening. It should be a piece of calm that comes over you when the police are there. Like, the cops are here, cool. Side note, again, because that's what this is about. I was 15, maybe 14, stuck at the mall, super black, dark black out. 12 at night. I'd never been out that late. Brother was supposed to come pick me up. I started working when I was 14, so he's supposed to pick me up. I was little, I don't know, maybe I was still 14, but it was dark. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared because it was really far from home. It was like a 8-mile walk, and maybe 15-mile long walk. Okay, dark. I was like, I didn't bust out in tears, but I was scared, rightfully so. I called the police. They're like, yeah, we can't help you. We're not a taxi service. I get it, but I'm just saying, man, if it was like that, everybody would be calling the police. They're not a taxi service, but what do you do? They're definitely, maybe that's something for society to kind of work out. What do we do? And for people to not think they're a taxi service or something, but what can we do? You know what they could have did? They could have said, we can go over, are your parents home? We can talk to them. We can give a call over there. Something on a assistant kind of thing. But that's how things get worse because I was stuck. The wrong individual in my position, they would have robbed somebody for taxi money. They would have broken into a car and stole it to get home. And at the end, it's my responsibility. I get that. I'm not trying to shift that. But we're here as a society to kind of help each other. And, some people in that situation, they go, what is it called when you stick out your thumb? Hitchhiking. They end up dead. These are things that we have to realize, all these different scenarios, I believe, as a society, and discuss and have character that is willing to deal with this, man. Be humble enough to call a different friend and the boss to recognize, oh, you're stuck, let me give you a ride home. If it's an everyday thing, then you just need to quit or, fire the person or something. But it wasn't every day. I was just stuck this one day. All right, continue.
Following the tests, Officer Wolf continues to ask Brooks how much he has had to drink and how he ended up in this parking lot. Brooks offers to leave his car and walk home.
I just don't want to be in violation of anybody. I can walk. My sister's house is right here.
Wait, this is a yes or no?
Oh, wait a minute. I hit the wrong
I
button.
don't want to.
I got to back up.
Will you take a preliminary breath test for me? This is a yes or no?
Okay, now, he didn't even verify if his sister's house was there or not. He don't really care about that. Like, what is he trying to do? What's his objective? Is his objective to protect and serve? Is his objective to get someone that he thinks is dangerous off the street? There is nothing there. They checked his record, so they didn't come up with any criminal activity. He's not at this point. They haven't expressed any kind of alert to their well-being. Right? It's just they wonder how intoxicated he is. They did all these things without really saying, oh, you failed that. So why is he taking the breath test? I don't know. And to make it like a worse thing, his daughter's birthday was the day before this happened. That is sad. All right. And he did tell one of the officers that. I saw that in another video. Moving on.
I don't want to refuse anything.
It's yes or no. It's completely up to you.
Yes, I will.
Okay, just wait here while I grab it.
Now,
At 11,
if he had said no, what would have happened? We never know. But he's trying to be cooperative. That's why he's saying that. Man, I ain't trying to be difficult. What he's looking for is a little give and take. There's a good book by Adam Grant, author. Nice guy, appears to be. Never met him. But I commented on I commented on his book, shared it, and he responded to the tweet. Social media, but it's give and take. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or Adam Grant or the Dalai Lama, or it doesn't take Jesus. That's my faith. It doesn't take anyone to know give and take is important for human beings. It's like you're just born with it. And here he gave a little bit. He's being really cool. So why, to me, why the cops even asked for the breathalyzer? I don't know. He said his sister lived nearby. It feels like to me he just want to lock him up. I ain't going to shortcake it. It just seemed like he just want to lock him up. Let's get done with this lockup.
10:22 p.m., Brooks blows over the legal limit.
I think you've had...
Uh-oh. Over the legal limit? He's going to get to lock him up. All right, now he already told one of the cops that his daughter's birthday was yesterday. He's not well. There's so many municipalities that get money for people going to jail. They're just money. All right, I'm gonna tell you another story. Municipality where I am around me, they pulled me over for being on the phone while driving. But the state of Illinois, the law is, the first violation is a warning. The subsequent violation is a fine. Well, this was my first violation ever for that. And they said if I pay $75, it won't go on my record and they won't report it to the state. I said, I don't want to pay $75 because the state says the first violation is a warning. Man, do you know how mad the prosecutor got when I told him that? Tried to tell me. He was going off on me, and everybody in the room in the hearing was like, dude, you're right. I was like, I know what's going on. It's right there. The law is so simple. But he was fuming. His head was going to burst. They ended up taking my money. And that's all I can say about it right now. But they were wrong. Okay? And all they wanted to do was take my money. Just like here, they just want to put a brother in jail and take some money. I'm gonna go out. Now he is over the legal limit, so they have the right to do that. But without the breathalyzer, there wasn't any indication solid that he was over the limit because he appeared to have passed the test. And a lot of you all that drink know that you have driven over the limit. He's still sitting in the parking lot trying to sleep it off a bit. I mean, and you know what? I have been totally sober, like nothing, and fallen asleep at the parking lot, almost like a narcolepsy. Like it happens. And, you know, that may not be this case, but I'm just saying, like, when someone walks up to it, it's called a paradigm shift. They don't know what's going on exactly. Maybe he has a medical issue or something. And I mean, I have people in my family that have like ADHD. And so you have mental health issues. You don't know who you're approaching and why, which is why they have such a dangerous job. And it takes a special individual to do that job well. So they need to screen better. There's people I know that are racist, that are policemen, and they told me they're racist. They straight up, I mean, man, I ain't going to go on it like that because this is going to be posted. But let me just say, some people that shouldn't be in a position of authority are, whether it be bosses and politicians, officers, whatever. So that's the important part of voting, and the important part about being willing to do the right thing and knowing like what is what. Here, these officers have lethal weapons in their hands. What is their mission exactly? Like, I don't even know. I'm making assumptions, but what is the mission? What's the mission of an officer? I wish I had the camera on at this point so you guys could see my face. But what is... I almost feel like looking it up. Like, what's the point of the police? To keep the peace? Serve and protect is what we see. You know, my granddaddy was an officer. I got blood, blue blood in my family. I love police. I wanted to be a detective. I ain't nothing against police. It's against the system that maybe is not clear to society what to expect from the officers. Perhaps that's it. Like, hello, tell society what we should expect when we see the boys in blue. Because right now, we're expecting to get shot. We're expecting to get harassed. We're expecting not to get any kind of serve and protect or like, hey, let me look out for you. We're not getting that, you know? So I'm going to continue on.
Too much to drink to be driving, so put your hands behind your back for me. Yeah, put your hands behind your back.
Yeah, he said he wouldn't drive. He said he'd go to his sister's house. But no.
Wolf's body camera is knocked off. The two officers are on top of him. They continue to physically wrestle with Brooks. Brosnan takes out his taser and places it directly on Brooks's leg.
This lady said, like, that's a problem. I don't know. Is that a problem? I'm assuming he's doing that to get, like, contact. But, okay, they know he's intoxicated. I don't know, man. I mean, dude shouldn't have fought him. You know, we don't know why he fought him. Maybe we don't know why. I would have just been like, damn, that sucks. Like, I'm going to jail. You know, that's what I would have did right there. So I got to tell you, Mr. I think his name Brooks. Let me see. Yeah, Mr. Brooks. Why didn't you just let him take you, man? I don't know. None of us would know. But I'm going to go back to, like, the officers protecting and serving. Were you protecting the people in the world by taking someone that's drunk off the road? Yeah, I have friends die drunk driving. I don't want anybody drinking on the road. But were you doing like your first duty with the person who's right in front of you? Was there a way that you could have helped him? Is there something in the system where he could have maybe taken the keys and said the keys will be down at the police station? You can come pick them up. You got to find another way home. There's got to be something like that would have been like the good cop, you know? There's the good cop, bad cop, but even the bad cop's the good cop. They're just playing the psychology to try and get what needs to be gotten to do the good thing normally. I should be doing something else instead of this video right now, but when I saw it, I just felt compelled. I needed to do this for me. I don't know if I will ever post this. I don't know if anyone will ever watch it. I'm sure someone out there that I am going to post it. I'm sure someone's going to put a thumbs down because I'm talking too much. But you know, that's exactly the thing I'm talking about. You can just flip the channel. You don't need to put a thumb up or a thumb down. Just change the station. I don't want to see your thumb down. I'm putting this out there for me, and I'm putting it out there for anybody else that just might want to go through the progression of thought or might want to hear a different viewpoint. I'm telling you, would be pulled over 100 times, not even get that many tickets. And to see this, like, I can't believe he's fighting him. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But I've never been tased, but I know that's a shock. And at that point, it's like self-defense. So at first it went to like, no, he's in disbelief. And then self-defense. But I wasn't, I'm not him, so I don't know. I'm going to go back to watching it because there's something bigger happening here, about to happen, as we know.
A witness sitting in her car also captures the struggle between Brooks and the two officers who are trying.
Now, is that a baby? It sounds like a baby. That's a shame. Baby got to see this, but this is life. Okay.
To restrain him. Brooks grabs the taser out of Brosnan's hand.
Yeah, because he was like, ow, that hurt. Don't be tasing me.
Stop!
Brooks manages to break free. He's still holding the taser. Officer Wolf pulls out his taser and fires.
My dude said he's wasted. So that automatically, like, you got to adjust everything. If you think someone's wasted, if they blow over, they're like not normal. But he patted him down so he knows he doesn't have any lethal weapons or nothing on him, right? Right.
A Wendy's security camera.
But he did just get hit in the face, so he's all hyped up himself. He's not happy. Right? Maybe he shouldn't have talked about him, but I'm not even gonna. You know what? I'm just saying. Oh, dude's wasted. I don't want to deal with it. Maybe you should be thinking of a solution, man. Like, how can I help this guy? He's pretty wasted. Maybe offer something. Oh, wait, think resolution. Don't think wait until this dude screw up and then I take him to jail. He's sitting back there, just look. These are the cars here, just staring at him. This is his car. That don't feel good, people. It don't feel good. I'm telling you right now, it's like totally uncomfortable. Even if it's totally uncomfortable.
Captured the rest of the incident. It runs a few minutes behind the police footage and has no audio, but we synced it with the 5 other sources of video to understand what happened in this parking lot.
This is the police all up on his video, and that is uncomfortable. You can ask anybody. It's like, you could have got a ticket just for tinted windows, which I got. In fact, you know how bad it is? I had a ticket for tinted windows, so until I could deal with the window situation, I would drive with my windows down. I got pulled over a couple times for the police to ask me to roll my windows up so they could see if I got the tint removed. Come on, man. Are you for real? The window's down, and I got a ticket because the tint was not removed. And the reply to that is not, I told you so. It was wrong.
Taser in hand, Rolf continues to chase Brooks. The taser wires are visible. Brosnan calls a dispatcher and runs after them.
Okay. Now, you got, they were running, right? Here's the cars that were in front. The white car was over there. Who knows if they were still by the white car? I'd have to back it up and see. Not that important. But they were running for a little bit. He appears to maybe be gaining ground. Dude's intoxicated. He could get him. Look how much more parking lot you have. They have his car. They have his license. They can find him. They can get him and arrest him for fleeing the scene, assaulting an officer, and he would have to pay, his fines and all that and go to court. And, something else is going to come out of it. They can even get to search his vehicle because he left it, so they can find stuff. Here is what we see is bad training, I'll say, perhaps ego, fear, unclear. I can't. This is hard for me to even watch. The resolution is to put your taser away and go Hawaii 5-0. You just run after him, tackle him to the ground, and, tase him some more. Tackle him to the ground and put him in an arm lock or something, right? Because he's running at that point. I don't know in the real life if you could like tackle them and punch them. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know they're running. They're in pursuit. He doesn't have a gun. They patted him down. He has no knives. He has nothing. They patted him down. So all he has is the weapon he took from the officer, which is an embarrassment to the officer, right? And it's a taser, which is not lethal. So, why does the officer do the next thing?
Brooks turns around, appears to fire the taser.
He puts away his taser.
Officer Wolf drops his taser, grabs his gun, and fires 3 shots as
he did it quick, like dude was a bank robber. Watch.
Officer Wolf drops his taser, grabs his gun, and fires 3.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I was younger, I knew that the police couldn't shoot you unless you did a certain type of crime. And I just know like that it has to kind of fit the crime and everything else. So if I'm him, I'm thinking, there's no way I'm about to get shot. Maybe I get choked out. It's more likely that he would have got choked. Okay, and now remember, this happened a little bit after George Floyd was choked to death. So he very well could have been scared because he was intoxicated. He's black, and they want to handcuff him. And he's worried that, George Floyd got handcuffed and then he got choked to death. Are the police not aware of how black people are people? Human beings with feelings and intelligence, to recognize that like George Floyd was choked to death after being handcuffed. So I ain't gonna let you handcuff me so you can choke me too. See, that's a very easy connection. Even though he cooperated all the way up to this point, but then he's like, look, you gonna handcuff me after I cooperated and everything was like cool. I told you I can go to my sister's house, and then you still gonna handcuff me. I kind of don't trust you at this point. Like you've kind of turned, everything seemed like might have been cool. Yeah, my daughter's birthday was yesterday. Oh, I understand. Yeah, no problem, Mr. Brooks. Yeah, sure. Yeah, just go ahead and do this for Mr. Brooks. It's like they're just walking him into a corner and trying to get him to self-incriminate, really. Like, you can say yes, you can say no. If he would have said no, let me tell you something. If he would have said no, dude would have found something else. He would have been like, he would have found something else. And that's what we just know and fear, like, as black people. Like, so I'll just say yeah, because I figure it's going to be better to say, yeah, cooperate. Maybe we can get a little human connection, a little give and take. Like, all right, cool. Thanks for saying, yeah, you're definitely over the limit. You can't drive. We're going to go ahead and, take your keys. You can't drive because you're intoxicated. Don't need to impound the car. Let's go in and ask Wendy's if we can leave it here. You can leave it here and pick it up in the morning and get the keys from the station. Boom, resolution, man. Walk home. But no. They gotta arrest him. That's just it's a counter to society. You arrest him. It takes up time out of his job, out of his his life. The court systems get bogged up with. There's people that really got, problems, like serious problems that need to be in the court system. Abusive husbands and wives and murderers and thieves and things of that nature. Like serious people need to be in there. Here's a working man. No record, apparently. Even if he had something, I don't hear it. Okay, they weren't scared of him like that. All right. So they shoot him that quick. Now, there wasn't too much room left in the parking lot. So, excuse me. My theory is that he's about here. He didn't have too far to go to get out of the parking lot. So he must have thought he was going to get out of the parking lot. Let me tell you something else. As my mother told me, it was 3 shots. One of the shots ended up, I believe, in this white car here, which takes off. They could have killed somebody in this car. Shooting at someone who did not have a weapon that was lethal could have killed an innocent bystander. That's irresponsible. And I believe I believe he said, I got him. Got him what? You just mad. You just mad because he got you, hit you a couple times, and took off with your taser. You're pumped up instead of thinking of the right thing to do. Like, the right thing to do is to even let him run with the taser. If you can't keep up with him, let him run, go back, get his car, impound his car. You know, you got him. Like, he's so going to be upset. His car is impounded. When he comes to pick it up or whatever, you go to his house with a warrant. Like, you don't kill him. Let's go back.
Drops his taser, grabs his gun.
Right here, dude just fires a taser back to try and get away. No way he thought he was about to get shot and killed. But there's more.
And fires 3 shots as Brooks runs away from him. Rolfe runs over to Brooks, who is lying on the floor. Both officers stand over him.
Still moving.
Brooks's arm is still moving.
Okay.
Rolfe
This, I have, like, where's the humanity? He's still moving. Take your shirt off, take something off, put it there, cover him. Oh, you worried about the COVID? Come on. What are you worried about? HIV? You better be more worried about HIV than the COVID. I'm not saying COVID's bad. I had a relative die suspected of the COVID. I'm not saying that it's not bad. But you do something quickly. This is not exemplary of people who are thinking they are servants of the community.
Rolfe runs back to the car. He calls for help over his radio.
No.
He puts on a pair of gloves.
Okay. Did he run back to the car or did he jog back to the car? Or is he already knowing that, like, dude is dead and there's no point? Let's see the run.
Over his radio. He puts on a pair of gloves as witnesses berate him.
Right away, got shots fired.
Oh my, wow.
About 2 minutes have gone by since Brooks was shot, and the
Look at
about
the
2 minutes have gone
They
by
stand
since
there
Brooks
for a
was
minute.
shot, and the other officers standing near him have not yet provided medical assistance. Officer Rolfe runs back to Brooks with a bag in hand.
About
In the next few minutes,
You know how much blood you can lose in that time? Shot in the back. He's bleeding out. He probably died of a loss of blood. My goodness. They're just standing over him. Like, I can't. I'm not even going to waste breath speculating what they're thinking.
they will apply what appears to be bandages.
Bandages. At this point, they're just going through the motions. They went over there. They put on some gloves. They came back. There was no sense of urgency. There was no sense of, like, life on the line.
Another officer holding Brosnan's body camera captures officers performing CPR on Brooks few minutes later.
Say, tell him CPR's in progress.
The ambulance arrives shortly after. Brooks was pronounced dead at the hospital. His autopsy showed he had 2 gunshot wounds to the back. The officer who shot Brooks was fired. Meanwhile, Georgia...
Wait. Okay, 3 shots. 2 were in him. So that other one, like my mama said, was in the car. It didn't say it was in the car, but, it probably was in the car. Let's go back here. Or I can't get rid of that. Sorry.
To the back. The officer who shot Brooks was
He was fired?
fired.
He was fired? Did you all just see what I saw? Oh, Lord help us. He was fired. He was fired. Oh, man. You know what? How could his boss not watch that and instantly turn, or watch that and not turn and say, arrest him? How could he not be? I'm trying to say, how could he not be arrested? How could he not be arrested for that? If you witnessed what I just saw, how could you say that didn't warrant him being arrested and held? You know what I have to say? Even held with, I want to say held without bond in a separate cell until it can be further reviewed and the investigation is reviewed. But I would put him behind bars for a minute to really think about what he just did and get his story together, because what he did was here's the nutshell. What it all boils down to for me. A man was shot after being frisked and confirmed not to have any lethal objects on him. He was shot in the back for fleeing the scene, and he had only a short-range taser in his hand, which means if you stopped running after him, he would not be able to touch you, which is probably why the officer shot him, because the long range of the bullet the range went longer than the taser. But he was at such a short range that the officer could have shot him in the leg if he wanted to shoot him. He shot him right in the back. And he missed one. How you gonna miss? Dude was right there in front of you. And how you gonna put all those people's lives in jeopardy? It wasn't just that he shot somebody in the back, but he jeopardized everybody in that parking lot. And look around, everybody in the parking lot is black that I see, except for the officers. But this ain't about a white or black thing. This is just straight up humanity. Like, come on, white and black people, they're gonna be around. Like, I got half white all up in my family, Native American, Cuban, African American, Caucasian, straight up blended up over here. This isn't so much about color. This is about how people treat people. And these people are not treating people well. And this may be how they're trained. And so training could be wrong. I mean, something's wrong. And he was fired. Great. When is he going to jail? When? Because he needs to go to jail. That's all there is to it. And the fact that those other people would stand around and look and they didn't swiftly act. I know, okay, they got to get some gloves. You know what? Maybe they need to carry gloves on them. Maybe they need to have a gauze or something on them. Maybe they just need to be heroic and rip off their shirt and push their shirt down while the other one actually sprints instead of trots. I mean, he was galloping a little bit, okay, I'm on the way. He wasn't oh, damn, let me go. Boom, 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 boom. No. He should have ran over there and got on those gloves. There's a man's life on the line here.
Meanwhile, Georgia officials continue to investigate the shooting.
Let me tell you something. If I didn't have kids, my response to what I'm seeing would be different. I'm having a hard time holding back tears almost every other day. Not tears of fear, but those angry tears, and those hurt tears of just I'm so mad and so hurt and disappointed that I'm crying. It's almost like I've been betrayed by, I wanted to be an officer. I love the country. I got a little American pin. Love my country. I can't help but feel like they're just not putting it. I know what happened to me, and I navigated through it. All right, I think I was blessed because there's more stories I have for you. But I know I was blessed, but I'm seeing what's going around the country, and we can't all navigate through it. Some of us do, we get away with it. The man shouldn't have ran. I give you that. George Floyd was not perfect. I give you that. But the way they were killed, and the other gentleman, I can't remember this, he ran in the lawn and got shot. There's something special about compassion. And there's something special about fools. No one's asking a police officer to be a fool. We're asking them to have compassion. And for it to be okay. They're asking for a lot, but that has to come from a top-down thing. I hear there's $50,000 getting paid as the jails are becoming privatized more so, they're paying for people that come in there. The jail owners are getting paid by the state. Like something's wrong. Something's wrong. And we need leaders that are going to care enough to inquire what's wrong and to fix it. I don't believe the leaders are having their lives threatened, like in some movies where maybe somebody's going to vote on a certain bill, so their life is threatened because that bill would affect the defense contractor or something like that. I don't think these are the things happening here. I just think people are not caring enough to make adjustments. It's just that simple. It's like not important enough. We don't need to do it yet. It would require a complete overhaul. And this is why there are riots and such. Like, you think it's not important enough? Well, how about if we boycott? How about if black people take their money out of Wendy's? Maybe Wendy's then would go lobby, which is another word for bribe, because that's what it is, lobby. they're like, hey, you do this and I'll do that. That's bribing, okay? I can't stand that word. But maybe if we stopped, spending our money at certain franchises and just straight up spent it locally. How about if all black people stop shopping on Amazon? How much money Amazon gonna lose? Huh? I ain't trying to target any particular company, but what I'm saying is the head of Amazon is almost a trillionaire, right? I bet he could lobby something if it was important enough. And it's about the organization. Like, really, Black Lives Matter, I get it, but I want to know what they want. Look, black people, stop shooting each other too. Like, man, but that's going to always happen. For me, it's not just about you killing black people. It's about something's wrong with your humanity. And the thought process, perhaps, when he walked up there, I didn't get necessarily racism. I just thought he didn't care. He wasn't connected the way a police officer should be to me. It was a whole bunch, man. We need to show love first, and one by one, always return kindness. I'm thinking one of these citizens maybe run out there and, say, hey, cover, let's stop the bleeding. But they probably would have got shot running up on them. It's like a bad movie. Where are the good guys? I'm confused, and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to tell my children, like, I don't know who the good guys are, because what I would call a good guy behavior is not the behavior and the process I'm seeing. And it makes me tear. It makes me weep. Like, right now, because I don't know what the future is going to hold. If this is the thought process of our good guys, I don't know how to navigate the world. Except to, understand that good guys now have a new face, a face that has yet been shown to the public, because it's being redefined as we speak, is being re-sculpted as we speak. And if the leaders of this country want to have the best country possible, they would quickly find a way to have the good guy's face be sculpted as officers who are here to protect and serve, not shoot down and name call and figure out ways to make more money for the system in any regard. All right, I gotta go. For anyone that watched, listened, I hope that
And of the Atlanta
that we
Police
can get the good guys a new face, an overhaul, and yeah, this is this is what it is, man. Thanks for watching.